talk about what this motivational communication is, what I do with my players every single day, and I'm going to give you some insight into it. All right, so we're going to look at data. Is data currency? Like, if I can give you a piece of data that tells you your business is better than somebody else's, it should grow your business, right? Be careful with data. I was listening to the radio, this is about 20 years ago, and I was in the car, and I guess it was before John Ritter died. You remember Three's Company, and he was on the radio, and he goes, "Parents, nearly 50% of the American youth read below the national average. Don't let that be your kid." I'm like, wait, that's the definition of a national average, is about 50% of the people will be below it if it's normally distributed. What's the national average? Well, if we're reading at a senior college level in 4th grade, I'm fine with my kid being in the 47th percentile. Right? Played with data. And they attacked what? What did they attack? They used the attack on you as a parent that your kids are falling behind. And I'm going to tell you, your kids are falling behind because our kids can't read very good. Well, what that showed me was they don't know their data very well. They do. They were manipulating it. But what happens is when we get data, we present it to our clients like the image on the right. Our clients are like, "The hell are you talking about? ROIs and impacts and vectors," and people are like, "Just tell me what it means to me." So let me tell you a story. A couple years ago, my wife and I were driving a QX56 from Infinity. We had one because our kids were smaller, we needed the space. And we drive a lot, and our mileage on our lease was getting a little high. And the general manager of the Infinity in town calls and goes, "Hey, Brett," and this is February, he goes, "You're about 8 months out from your lease turn-in. I want to let you know we're going to have a buyback coming up soon, and I want you just to consider us." I said, "Yeah," I said, "my wife doesn't really want another big one because my oldest daughter's going to be driving soon, and she's going to downsize." He goes, "Yeah, no, I get that." He goes, "Just do me a favor and look at your odometer because, God, I just hate when people have to pay for mileage and not." I said, you're right, Jerry. And so I called my wife, and she's like, "I don't want another one of those." And I'm like, "I know, but I just thought it was something interesting to look at." "Yeah, I don't want another one." Like, all right. So about a month later, he calls me again, and he goes, "Hey, did you talk to Missy about it?" I said, "Yeah, but she doesn't want another one." "Yeah, I know you don't want another one, but I just really, as a general manager doing this, I've just seen way too many people who blow their mileage over the thing, and you're just paying for stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me. So just talk to her about it. I'm sure I could do something for you guys." I said, "She doesn't want one of those big QX56s again. Those things are tanks." "Yeah, I know. So I go home, I call Missy, and I'm like, "Hey, Jerry called again." And she's like, "Yeah, I know." And about a week later, she calls me, and she goes, I was in the car, and I looked at the odometer. He's right. He's right." She said, "But I don't want one of those big trucks again." So I called Jerry, and I'm like, "Hey, she doesn't want a big QX50. He goes, "You know what's funny? Is we have a new midsize that's coming out right now. Why don't you have her come by and take a look?" So what did you do? You went down, you took a look. What did you get? You remember? Got another QX56. He planted a seed. Didn't attack us. Didn't sell us. He motivated us to change. And we walked in there, and she goes in and looks at the car. And she goes, "I'm going to get another QX56. I said, "All right, I'll drive in. We'll sign the paperwork." That was it. That was the easiest sale he'd ever had in his life. Now, if he'd come out and said, "We got a brand new QX56, we would have been like, "I don't want one." He found our pain point, and he manipulated it. All right, let's talk about how to do that. Back in the 80s and 90s, they had this big campaign, right, of seatbelt saves lives. All these little stickers and all these advertisements and all these crash scenes didn't change human behavior of wearing seatbelts one bit. You know what did? Tickets. When they could write you a ticket, all of a sudden people are like, up, I'm in. Because people don't think they're going to die today. They don't think that. My dissertation was on, we had a low-income sample of people for 2 years that were taking diabetes meds, and their adherence rates were unbelievably low. They weren't taking their meds. So the pharmaceutical company said, "Hey, listen, low-income area, we'll give them the meds for 2 years for free." It did not increase adherence one bit. Not 1% over 2 years increased their adherence rates. So what I did is I went in and found out why people weren't taking their meds. You know why? It was what? There's absolutely truth to that. Okay? If you don't pay even $1 for your meds, you won't take it. But the number one reason why they didn't take their medicine is the medicine was too expensive. But wait a minute. They got it for free for 2 years. But their mindset was the meds are too expensive. And the cost of me living a diabetes lifestyle is too much for me. People will tell you all the time that it's too expensive. It's not too expensive. You just haven't told them why it's worth it to them. Cost is never the reason why people don't do something. It's the fact that they haven't bought into you. You haven't hit their pain point. Now, I'm not saying go out there and offer, private fitness services for $5 million a year, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who'll pay it. Good luck finding that person. When you do, let me know. They probably need a mental coach too. Okay? But the reality is that people will say it's too expensive. And what do? I'll give you a discount. You didn't even listen to why it was important to them. You don't even know why they wanted it to start off with. Psychologically, you're answering their fire with their fire. You're playing their game. You're playing a bad game of poker. Psychology is about changing behavior. But this is what we do in business. We've got a mule that we're trying to pull that doesn't want to move. And we're fooling ourselves when we give them information and we hear their rejections and their resistance. We take it personal. Versus, let me hear why they're resisting. Let me understand where their rejection is to get to their pain point. When they tell you no, they're not telling you the real reason no. There's a trick in psychology that we ask why 3 times. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Why? I just don't want to do that. Yeah, but I want to know more. Like, tell me why you really don't want to. And then eventually, they get to it. You ever watch a police interrogation? Does anybody ever, besides Law and Order, ever walk in and go, yes, I did it. No, they just keep working it. They keep working it. They keep talking. Because people will slowly start giving in what their underlying belief sets are. Because when you sell, I stole this from somebody online, but I love it. It's the standard iceberg. What we see is this top. We see results. And we go, man, I'm good. I got a sale. You may have just gotten lucky. Hate to tell you. Without understanding what's going on behind the scenes, the state of mind, their decision criteria, their self-image, their values, and their mission, you're guessing. Okay? So, people form opinions, and this even with my clients at the highest level, I've got to understand how they form their opinions. One of my tour clients, multiple times, got up to very high in the world and then tells me, hey, can we renegotiate our package for next year? I just feel like I pay you a lot of money. And I'm like, what I make is based on what you make. So if you make nothing, I make nothing. Yeah, I have a hard time writing that check. Don't put this on social media. He ain't had a good year. Okay? We're going to be renegotiating next week and go like, can we go back to the old plan? His pain point was when he's not making money, he doesn't want to write a check. The plan I have for him, he ain't got to write a check unless he's making money. Okay? So decision making comes down to 4 major areas. What do they want or do they desire? Okay? We form opinions based on what we want. We form opinions based on education. How much do we know? We form an opinion based on circumstances. But what's the most powerful one? Who are our influencers? Who are the people around us who match what we want? Okay? If you can watch how people form their opinions of you and your business, your mindset can shift dramatically. Okay? Because if you don't know your customers, how many of you have spent a lot of money on market research? Okay, good. There's no market research company in here? Y'all don't do market research per se. Good. Don't. Let me tell you why. I can bring 12 people in a room and I can ask them questions. I can feed them, pay them a little money, or I can go out and meet with 1,200 people and collect insights on every single one of them. Which one's more accurate?